Ladies and gentlemen, so excited because in a few hours, Creativerse will officially leave early access and enter the world of official releases on Steam, and I couldn't be happier for all those people over at Playful. With that in mind, I wanted to make this video outlining some of the finer points of the game, some of the things I like, and some of the amazing things you can build, particularly some of the amazing things I've built. Say that wasn't so bad, right?
Oh, it was pretty good. You did good.
I know I did. So I was thinking maybe I'll go over the stuff that we built in the house, and then you can go over maybe the finer points of the stuff that you like about this game. Like,
sure.
You know, you've done more of that than I have. So why do you look so tired?
I ran the Broad Street race today. It's like 10 miles.
10? 10 miles?
Yeah.
I don't think I've cumulatively even ran 10 miles my entire life.
No, you probably
Or
haven't.
maybe I have. I mean, like, because like 1 mile for you is like 7 for me, right?
It doesn't work that way.
Well, you say it's not that way. Oh, by the way, did you see that I made a new intro?
Oh, did you finish it?
Let's check it out. Roll the intro.
It's that one.
Roll the intro.
It's that button. That one.
Damn, how do you make this thing?
Press it right there.
Roll the intro. So I really want to start by showing you the home that we built, the Grand Hall. I had originally planned to build it right on top of that hill right there. And not everything went according to plan because that ended up being a gigantic endeavor. We had to clear out all of the stone that's up here. And we used some of the excavators, but most of it we did by hand, as you can see here. And the only reason for that was resource management. I wanted to take a flight up top, though, and record this real quick to show you that I never really had a plan. I mean, some stuff just kind of worked. And that's how I did a lot of the stuff that I did here. And I also filled in all of the stone underneath it so that no mobs can spawn, because sometimes they can spawn even if there's only one block of unused space. And then after all of that counting, and after finally finishing the ground floor, and not really having a plan for the roof, and doing all the measuring, and all the stone placing, and all the sleeping, looking at you, Pigsy, we were able to turn that little heap right there on top of that hill into the grand hall that it is today. She's beautiful. I even gave her a name. Right now I'm calling her the Elysium after the ship from Pandora. So that's the Elysium right there. And I want to take a look around inside. But it's not just to show off, because it would be very easy for me to say, oh, look what I made. But that's not what this video is about. It's not about me showing off. It's about showing off what this game has to offer. This game lets you just explore your creative side with the amount of options that it lends you. But it's more than just the options. It's the varying ways you can put them together, from turning blocks to different type of textures. Oh, but we'll get into that a little bit more later. My plan when I built the ground floor here was to always have something to catch your eye. I wanted every direction that you looked to be just something else maybe that you hadn't seen before. And a lot of it has to do with angles, and you'll see that more as we get to the second floor outside and then to the roof. But watching this video now, there's even stuff that I changed, and that makes me want to talk about something a little bit more specific when it comes to the individual building of the places that I like to create. I always love to leave them open for expansion, because you never know what the creators are going to put in this game next. And I like to leave myself enough room and enough flexibility that I can adapt to that. If there's something, some new texture pack that comes out that I really like, I want to be able to add it into my current builds. So I love to leave myself that flexibility. I also love space. I love tons of space. I love giving myself plenty of floor so I can put whatever I want there. And you can see that's pretty sparse. When we go inside in a minute, you're going to see just how sparse it really is at the moment. But that's just how I like it. Now you can see out here all the angles. I love angles. Love them. You can even tell from the logo that I made for this site. Love them. So one of the interesting things, and I'll show you a picture of it later, is there are some angles that I didn't even realize would match up. Now, I know that, everything is just going to make a point. There's a lot of triangles. I get that. Believe me, it doesn't fall on deaf ears. But the way they line up in some spots is just really takes you off guard. And I'll show you a picture later that I walked past something and I stopped and went back and grabbed a screenshot because I didn't even realize that stuff was going to line up. So this is the inside of the Great Hall now. I had originally started building a throne, like a big Game of Thrones type thing, something very epic. And then I stopped and I deleted it all. Well, I just picked all the blocks back up. But I did that because I didn't want it to be just like a regular, regular guild hall or regular grand hall that anybody else would have. I wanted something unique. And at the time, maybe some of you could guess, I was playing a bit of Abduction, and I kind of had this idea to maybe put a tree in the middle of the grand hall. And I thought, you know what? People have had trees in grand halls before. That's not new. That's not breaking any new ground. So maybe we should have the tree suspended in midair. That might be touching on like unfamiliar territory maybe. And then let's put like a different color light, because so far the only lights we've seen are, flame. We got all the flames down there. Most of the ground floor is flame. That's done on purpose because I love the contrast. The ground floor was all flame, and then up above it was all the arc stones that would get that nice little blue-green, glow. And I thought maybe the tree should be like red. I like that. So I went with it. Right there, you can see how that symmetry lined it up. That's what I was talking about earlier. I walked past that and stopped, and I was like, damn, that's pretty neat. So this is the roof now. This is kind of where all of the triangle shapes and all of the arcs came from. I had made originally right there on the left. You can see the water flowing downwards from that peak. That's where it all started. I made that peak originally, and I was like, all right, that looks neat, but it's kind of, I don't know. I don't like things that aren't supported by something. I like to have structures that sort of make sense. So I went back and revisited it later and started building all this stuff around it. And once I had the roof like this, I had to go back and make the balcony out there just as good. So I went back outside and did all that. And then the pergola outside of all the entrances, that's the wooden slats. That was like a finishing touch right there on the end. So with all that, done, and with all that taken care of, it had to be revisited over and over and over again so that it could all work together. But when it's done, sometimes it's just worth flying around it and getting a good look. I love peaks, but I'm a dog, so. So I'm going to pass the mic along here, and we're going to talk maybe a little bit more. Oh, wait a minute. I want to show you this place at night. It looks even better at night sometimes. We'll do this quick. I promise. I won't waste any more of your time.
I love it.
I just wanted to show you what the illumination looks like, even inside. I find that when it's night, you get that nice red glow. It's even stronger at night. And I think we might have set up a special surprise for later. A little congratulations to, for this game leaving early access and going full release. We set up a little surprise at the end, so. Okay, now maybe I am just showing off a little bit. But what other game lets you have this type of creativity, huh? What other game lets you just kind of build whatever you want? And it was fun to build. That's the key thing too. This game, more than anything, is fun. And you can tell that by all the features that we're about to, go over with you. In fact, I'm going to pass the mic off. You ready to do some talking? All right. Floor is yours. Oh, God, that looks so good at night. Drink it in. Drink in that view.
Right off the bat, the one thing that I love the most about Creativerse is pretty much how adorable it is. Look at all these mobs. Somebody who cared about the animation on these creatures put so much work into it. You could feel the love put into this game. I think that's what really drew me to it the first time I saw it. I played it for a couple minutes and was like, I'm buying the pro version. I love this. I just love the art style. Even on the mobs that want to attack you, their art style is always that version of cartoony that is just adorable. And it's just, even the ones that want to kill you, and then those are the ones you can even tame. And it's something I haven't really talked about too much in any of my videos, but there's taming in this game. You can tame any mob in the game, and sometimes they even fall asleep on you while you're trying to make a video of them. Pigsy, I swear to God, he has narcolepsy. And then you can collect all of the different ingredients that are out in the world so that we can do some farming with them. Leafy, get out of my farm. Keep walking. So, you can do some farming. You can make some wheat. You can see in the background I'm farming cacti. There's a whole bunch of different ingredients that you can farm and different ways to use them. And you're going to need all that stuff to traverse this world because some of it can be pretty dangerous. That's something else I really do like about this game. I've never been a fan of creative mode in games. Now I get that any game like this that's going to have building and crafting involved is eventually going to have a creative mode. It's just a mode I choose not to take part in. I find that the best... yeah, granted, you can build the biggest structures in a creative world. Without a doubt, you have access to unlimited blocks and all the blocks that are in the game. But I'm always impressed by the people who do it in a survival mode, and that's the only way I'll ever play is in survival mode. I never found the creative mode fun in any game. That being said, of course, there's the one game that everybody compares this to, and that they always compare it to Minecraft. I've heard it said a few times, and I've had it in a few of my comments from other videos that I've made. This game, and I said it in my very first video, and I'm going to reiterate it again, it feels like... I always felt about Minecraft, and I played it extensively, and I always felt about it that it felt made in somebody's garage. It felt paper thin. This game does not feel paper thin. This game feels like it was made with a purpose from the very first line of code. It feels like they had direction, and you can feel it in the gameplay. A lot of it is solid. Even the combat, which could maybe use a little bit of refinement, but it's still fantastic for a game like this. And there's only going to be more to come in the future. Speaking of which, it's a very deep and rewarding unlocking system, as well as a crafting system and discovery system, which is just very well thought out and very well implemented in the game. You're going to unlock certain things to then make them to then unlock the recipes for something else, and that's how you advance in this game. It's very unique, and again, it lends itself to plans for the future. It lends itself for growth, the systems that they've put in place, which I really do appreciate. And there's something about just getting to the point where you overcome all the obstacles in this game, and you figured them all out, and you know what enemies are where. And then you just saw, as I flew around, there were many different biomes, and a lot of the resources that you need and a lot of the mobs that spawn in this game spawn in only those specific biomes, so you have to explore. And I was kind of blown away a little bit my first time finding a lot of the different biomes, that it kept going. There was so many to find, and every time I found like another one, I was like, well, this has to be it. There probably isn't going to be another biome. I've already found 5, and then I found a 6th one, and I was like, oh, I can't believe there's savannas. That's on the left of the screen just a second ago, was a savanna. It's a very unique game world, and to celebrate their launch, and from getting out of early access and going into full release. I made this little surprise right here at the end of the video. Congratulations, Creativerse, on celebrating a momentous occasion, getting out of early access.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Oh, congratulations.
I love the animation on the fireworks.
Congratulations.
Oh, it looks so good.
Oh,
it looks so good. Everything about this game just feels good. So I really do hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was in some way informative. And I hope that you check this game out. It is such a fantastic game, and it only has room for growth. It's just going to get better from here. Thank you so much for watching. It was a pleasure hanging out with you, and I'll see you in Creativerse.